Let me follow up on a phrase you just word, weaponization ambitions. Are you saying there that the United States did not see intelligence that the Supreme Leader had ordered weaponization?
That's irrelevant. I see that question being asked in the media. That's an irrelevant question.
No,
they have
that is
everything
the
they
key
need to build a
point
weapon.
in U.S. intelligence assessments. You know that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
No, it's
that
not.
The political decision had
well,
not
I know
been
that better
made.
than you know that, and I know that that's not the case.
But I'm asking you whether the order was given.
That's CBS host Margaret Brennan, known for not hiding her emotions, getting completely shut down by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. She tried to defend Iran's nuclear program, but Rubio didn't let it slide. That awkward moment, it was the sound of the usual Democratic talking points falling apart live on TV. Welcome to News. I'm Jordan. CBS tried to protect Iran like they usually do, but Rubio showed up with facts and stood his ground. While the media says there's no nuclear threat, Iran is secretly enriching uranium and hiding it in mountains, and someone had to call it out. Brennan really thought she had Rubio stuck with her usual arguments, but he broke them down one by one. Here's Rubio on Face the Nation, exposing the truth with solid proof.
It doesn't matter if the order was given. They have everything they need to build nuclear weapons. Why would you bury things in a mountain, 300 feet under the ground?
Right.
Why would you bury why do they have 60% enriched uranium? You don't need 60% enriched uranium. The only countries in the world that have uranium at 60% are countries that have nuclear weapons. Because it can quickly make it 90. They have all the elements. They have. Why do they have a space program? Is Iran going to go to the moon? No, they're trying to build an ICBM.
No, but
so
that's a question. That's a question.
It.
That's a question of intent. And you know, in the intelligence assessment, that it was that Iran wanted to be a threshold state and use this leverage. I'm talking about the public March assessment, and that's why I was asking you if you know something more from
but
March.
That's also an
inaccurate
inaccurate representation of it. That's an accurate representation of it. That's not how intelligence is read. That's not how intelligence is used. Here's what the whole world knows. Forget about intelligence. What the IAEA knows. They are enriching uranium well beyond anything you need for a civil nuclear program. So why would you enrich uranium at 60% if you don't intend to one day use it to take it to 90 and build a weapon? Right. Why are you developing ICBMs? Why do you have 8,000 short-range missiles and 2,000 to 3,000 long mid-range missiles that you continue to develop? Why do you do all these things? They have everything they need for a nuclear weapon. They have the delivery mechanisms, they have the enrichment capability, they have the highly enriched uranium that is stored.
Yes.
That's all we need to see.
Right. Well,
especially in the hands of a regime that's already involved in terrorism and proxies and all kinds of things around. They are the source of all instability
and no one's
in the Middle East.
No one's disputing that. I'm not doing that here. And they were censured at the IAEA for that enrichment and for violating their non-proliferation agreements. I was simply asking if we had intelligence that there was an order to weaponize, because you said weaponization ambitions.
Well, we have intelligence that they have everything they need to build a nuclear weapon, and that's more than enough.
Okay.
This is what happens when someone from the media tries to argue with a person who actually knows what they're talking about. Brennan was acting shocked over whether Iran's leader had ordered a nuclear weapon, while Rubio calmly pointed out the facts, like Iran enriching uranium to 60%, hiding secret sites, and running a space program that clearly isn't about space. Seriously, do they think Iran's building a base on the moon? Even the IAEA said Iran isn't following the rules. They have enough enriched uranium to build a bomb in just a few weeks. And let's not forget who stopped that threat before. It was Trump, who ended it with a single strike. The media can twist the story all they want, but Rubio had the facts and Brennan couldn't keep up. Here's Rubio again, showing the big difference between Trump's tough stance and the weaker approach from Biden and Obama.
Do you know why we have bases in Bahrain and Qatar and UAE and all these places? All of those bases are there because those countries are afraid that Iran will attack them. If Iran was not a threat to the region, if the Iranian regime, because I'm talking about the Iranian people, the regime was not a threat to the region, we wouldn't have to have any of these bases. Those bases are there because those countries are petrified that the Iranian Shia clerics that run that country will attack their country.
Will the United States defend them if they are?
As you know, they've got a very difficult history. Well, that's why we're there. That's why we're there.
So
but
yes, we will defend them.
Is what they're threatening to do. So we'll defend our people, obviously. we'll defend our people. Well, they'll attack our bases. And those are our bases, and we're going to defend our personnel, and we're prepared to do that. But we'll do more than just defend. We'll impose costs on Iran if they attack American personnel, whether they do it directly or whether they do it through some of these proxies that they try to hide behind. And that includes the Houthis.
Yeah.
So another proxy of theirs. So, but let's hope they don't choose that route. Let's all hope that they actually decide, okay, let's go negotiate, because we want a diplomatic and peaceful solution. We have achieved our objectives. We're ready to negotiate this in a peaceful, diplomatic way. We've been prepared to do that for days. They are the ones that played games, as they have done for 40 years, as they have done to multiple presidents. They tried to play games with President Trump, and they see what happens. This is not a game-playing president. When he says he's going to do something, he will do.
This is where everything comes together. Rubio keeps making his point, and you can tell Brennan and the rest of the mainstream media are getting nervous. CNN is already complaining that Trump didn't tell top Democrats before launching the strikes. Like that's a big scandal. But maybe if those Democrats didn't leak to the media so often, they would have been told. Trump told Republicans because he runs a tight team. The result? No leaks, no delays, just a clean strike that seriously hurt Iran's nuclear program. People like Brennan are more scared of Iran's reaction than of Iran actually getting nuclear weapons. CNN's Anderson Cooper and others are upset that the Iranian people might suffer because of their government's actions. But here's the truth. No one wants another endless war. Trump isn't about sending troops in. He stops threats before they grow. That's real leadership. Maybe we should all wait and see what happens before panicking. What do you think? Do you support President Trump's response to Iran? Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Thanks for watching.